I'm a full damn hour early.
Alive and alert and present.
Play tight and don't use cheap EV. What the hell, Ben?
Alright guys, I have made it here to the Banco casino. I have my main event tickets already. I have studied Ben CB. He has been yelling at me to play tighter than you otherwise would with cheap EV. But you know what, Ben? I'm not going to listen to you. My strategy going into the event when I will be deep, it will be to play all the hands that I can, use my cash game strategy. When there's a mixed hand, I'm gonna go ahead and use the looser side, most likely. For cash game players, it's tough for us not to see this as a rake-free environment with an ante, so the ranges should be really loose. Where I will listen to Ben CB is if I actually get to the later stages, to the middling ones, where because of the structure of tournaments, you actually are supposed to be playing tighter, especially you're supposed to be calling less, you might be shoving a little bit more. So that's my strategy. One thing that I do have here is the Poppy. Basically, I met some Slovakian soldiers who stopped me. They were like, oh, today's the Veterans Day. I was like, oh, so sorry, I don't have any euros. But they told me it's free, you honor the veterans. So it might be a little bit insensitive to have poker and veterans in the same place, but that's what we'll be doing. So guys, wish me luck and let's jump into one thing I forgot to mention, and that is the tournament structure. You started with 40,000 chips. I think the blinds are 100 and 100 with a 100 big blind ante. So you're really deep starting off the bat. And the structure, it's actually unlimited rebuy. The way they structured this tournament is there are multiple day ones. They do go all the way up to J. There's even a turbo. And you can have unlimited buy-ins into the event. I actually talked to a few pros, few players that have fired up to 16 bullets already just to try to get to day 2 and have a chance at the Polish Championship. That's how big this actually is. Some players are playing day 1, they make day 2, but they're not satisfied with their stack, so they keep playing the main event just so they get more chips in. So that's why, even though it's a reasonably small, moderately sized casino, you have so many people, a really high guarantee. I think it's 200,000 euro, if not more.
It ended up being 5,000 entries over that, and it broke the Slovakian record with over 530,000 euros for a single live event.
Four-way with Jack-9 off. The under the gun opener checked, the button bet pretty big. I went ahead and called, and the under the gun guy, who turned out to be a Polish regular, check raised. Obviously there was a flush draw on the board, so I simply folded. Next hand went with ace-10 off again. We did some folding, fives folding, blind against blind. Then came the most fucking ridiculous hand I have ever seen. Basically, I'm blind against blind, I have king jack off, and obviously I go ahead and raise the standard 3x. The blinds were 200, 400 with the 400 ante, and the board comes 998. I think this basically is advantageous for the big blind caller, especially with the ante. He's gonna have more 9x that he can go ahead and call there. So I'm gonna be checking a pretty large percentage of my range, so I do so. And the turn, so I thought on the 998 was another 9. Oh, that's pretty good, right? Obviously, I have all my overpairs, most of them in my range. I would be basically checking them. So I go ahead and bet, right? Bet with the plan of delay c-betting. And what happened, the river actually brought another 9. So there were quads on the board, and suddenly my king high that I was trying to fold out ace highs and small pairs with my clever delay c-bet hand, suddenly it was a value bet, right? So I went ahead and bet really small, went for a block bet, just tried to milk some value with the king high, with my king with the quads on the board, and my opponent raised. I didn't understand what was going on, and that's when I looked at the board again, and you know what? Listening to Eckhart Tolle and Ben CB, it didn't help out. It basically filled my head in. I misread the goddamn board, all right? There was no quads on the board. It was just 3 9s. My opponent had an 8. And basically there was a full house on the board. He raised me, he check raised me pretty big, and now I'm thinking, holy shit, Now I have a king high in this spot. I bet really small in a place I had no sense betting small in. Obviously, I should be going bigger when I want to represent full house there. So I leveled myself into calling with the king high there. He was really polarized. Of course, he just read it as weakness. He assumed that I have some sort of an underpair, and he value-owed me with that hand, and we lost. I was really embarrassed by this. It was freaking ridiculous, you know. Just flustered and needed a couple of hands to recuperate. You know, this is what happens when a cash game pro goes to play live tournaments. Next hand, I open a ace queen offsuit under the gun against middle position, 10 jack X, and I check again. You know, in these positions, I think it was knight handed at that point. I'm gonna have a really wide checking range, so I check. Again, my plan is to delay c-bet. Turn brings an 8 for a double gutter. I go ahead and delay and take it down. Then I basically chip down. I was down to about 27k out of 40. I decided to go for some squeezes, squeeze a little bit loose on the loose side with ace-3 suited, 8-handed against middle position when I was in the third spot from under the gun, so I took that down. And then basically a very standard hand. There was an Austrian gentleman who was very well. I'm at 30K, you know?
Will be this day too.
Well, hopefully you make it. I don't think I'm gonna with my 30,000 chips, you know?
Yeah.
Chip in a chair though, chip in a
You
chair.
have easy game.
Yeah, exactly. Still kicking, trying my best to hang on in the tournament. I basically kept Ben CB's advice. I was pretty tight. and I sucked out against tens. Then there was an interesting hand. I 3-bet King Jack suited in the middle position against under the gun, and the board was 3-4-5 suited, so obviously under the gun checked. I went ahead with a small c-bet. The turn was a deuce that gave me another gut shot, and obviously I have way more aces in my range than my opponent. He should be jamming ace-king, possibly even ace-queen. We were at about 27 big blind stacks. So I bet really small, intending basically to make him call his pocket pairs and jam the river. I sucked out on him, I got in the jack, I checked it and I took it down. And then basically I was just chipping it down. One thing I did, I basically had a gutter on the turn with ace-8, check, called, missed, and that was basically all she wrote. I was chipping down, and then I hit a most amazing run of cards. I had kings, I went ahead and jammed it. Ace-king, I jammed pre-flop. I had an amazing hand where I had ace-king cut off against the button. The board came in really drawy, low board. I actually hit the king, I c-bet, I checked to my really aggressive opponent, and I jammed into him instantly. There will be a hand that you can take a look at. So yeah, I was really happy, and the break was gonna come. So it was really fantastic. Obviously, I'm a poker professional, so nothing really gets to me, and I never get angry. So basically, right before the break, I'm at above average stack, 260,000. You know, I'm right in the money, making the cash, becoming the poker champion of Poland. So I had kings, you know, and as you do, you open under the gun, and 3 players call me. It wasn't that common, by the way. The players are pretty strong. And the board was actually 294, and I went ahead and check called, you know, of course, and my opponent bet, check call, 4-way, playing it slow, turn was check, and now I'm on the river. I'm basically thinking, I have a full pot size bet, want to go ahead and put him all in, you know. I check all the flop against the small bet, I have a pot size bet left roughly, so I basically just went all in, and obviously I won, right, because there's no way he could have hit. And there's no way you can hit an ace-5 on a gutshot on the rim. Out of the goddamn freaking right before the break, and I hate this. I will be the Polish poker champion. God damn it! There you go.
Too much drama.
Too much.
Feeling sicker than you know. Killed a bird without a stone. Taught the dog to throw a bone.
Right, guys, I'm out. I lasted about 6 hours. I was 200 out of about 800 in my heat. And obviously that is variance, you know, that hand was played reasonably well, could have played it differently, but in a big field tournaments like this. Then I want to say this event is fantastic, you know, there were people firing up to 19 bullets, it was absolutely mental. The record-breaking field, not just field, but record-breaking prize pool in Slovakian history for a single tournament, I think is an absolutely great achievement. It was so much fun to play the main event, and if you're thinking about it, yeah, jump over to Banco Casino. I think in 6 months or at least in a year it will happen again. Now you're watching the final table. Obviously we didn't make it, but I am super glad I could have been there, interviewed so many people in this main event, and have taken part, you know. I got a good amount of hours in and life experience in the multi-table tournaments in large fields that I have been missing. Big thanks comes to KKPoker, who actually organized this tournament with Banco Casino, and they helped me out to get in there and took really good care of me. So thank you so much to KK. Give them a chance.